Our next story highlights a special documentary project showcasing the work of an assistant professor of anthropology. In the northeastern part of Ghana, a Northern Arizona University anthropology professor has been studying the spirit child, a perplexing part of the Nankani culture.
What the spirit child is an infanticide practice where disabled or chronically ill children or malnourished children are sometimes identified as being non-human, as a spirit that's come from the bush with the ultimate goal of destroying the family. So on one level, the spirit child is infanticide. Parents will poison these infants to send them back to the bush.
This takes place in a part of the world where families face extreme physical and economic challenges. And while infanticide is difficult to conceptualize in Western cultures, the spirit child practice goes back hundreds of years.
We oftentimes see it as this kind of ignorant, barbaric sort of practice, that people are savages, and it kind of perpetuates a lot of the misconceptions that people have about Africa and about other parts of the world. And so ultimately what we want to show is that it isn't this savage, barbaric practice, that it's really heavily grounded within not only cultural traditions, but within the ecological and economic context.
The documentary produced by Northern Arizona University will portray the spirit child phenomenon as well as the prevalent malnutrition and disease in this part of Africa, where access to health care is extremely limited. The project will show what happens when a child with special needs is born, requiring a greater portion of the family's limited resources, and how additional adversities can lead the family to suspect the worst.
If a child's disabled, it doesn't mean that they're going to think it's a spirit child. If the child is disabled and there's misfortunes such as crop failure, family member dies, they receive additional confirmation through divination. A variety of things have to come together for a child to be diagnosed as a spirit child.
Some groups are working to reduce infanticide among the Nankani. Charities and NGOs or non-governmental organizations are addressing some of the root causes, like offering prenatal care or assisting during childbirth and offering nutritional food.
One particular NGO is called AfriKids, and they've been working very closely with the spirit child phenomenon. And so another element of this documentary is really to show how an organization has kind of successfully worked with what some people would describe as a harmful traditional practice.
AfriKids has found success by working with the community instead of coming in and imposing a different value system. Through continued assistance, the relatively rare number of infanticide cases might be further reduced. Dr. Denham has been studying the spirit child phenomenon since 2006, and now his research will be documented on a larger scale by NAU's television services.
We began to view it as an opportunity to be able to expose people to a very serious subject in infanticide, and at the same time give us an opportunity as filmmakers to document a subject matter that needs to be exposed not just on a national level but on an international level. So for Northern Arizona University, that gives us a chance to be able to expose people to all the wonderful work we're doing here and the important work that we're doing here.
University researchers often travel to distant places to chronicle research, which usually shows up in papers and academic journals. This video project will help NAU share their applied anthropology work.
But one of the goals that we want to do is to be able to try and find ways to communicate important information about other parts of the world, other cultures, other practices, other things that are happening to the general public, to be able to share kind of some of the anthropological tools that we have and the knowledge that we have with a broader population.
Rural Ghana's high incidence of childhood mortality is attributable to a lack of safe drinking water, malnutrition, and disease. The spirit child practice makes up only a small portion of the deaths among the Nankani.